The rise of lonely single men. This popped up on my phone this morning and I got very interested in it. And I want to talk about it because it's actually happening. The author of this article, which has created so much of a stir and went viral on TikTok, is, I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Dr. Greg Matos. Dr. Greg Matos wrote an article. He's a board-certified couple and family psychologist. He served 11 years in the U.S. Marine Corps and Navy, becoming a lieutenant commander and military psychologist. He was awarded the Bronze Star with Combat Valor and the Department of State's Award for Heroism. He is the author of Shattered Glass, the story of a Marine embassy guard. After the military, Dr. Matos began specializing in systems work and specialized in Gottman Method couples therapy. He is the founder of the California-based charity A Better Love Project. He teaches core life and relationship skills to thousands daily on TikTok. He believes in the democratization of relationship science and core psychological skills. And he made a video today about how we need to honor women. We need to honor women because women are the bearers of life. By the way, guys, a man who spreads his seed and doesn't take care of his children isn't a man. He's I don't know what you want to call him. So I gave you this as a background so that you guys can't rant and rave that all women say this and it's all women's fault, because this is a man saying this. A respected man who was in the military, who is a doctor, who has a website and his entire life dedicated to helping couples have better relationships. And he wrote an article for Psychology Today where he was just talking about a study from actually 2 years ago, which found that there are more and more lonely single men. Tranquility, this one's for you, because she makes a lot of videos talking about how men are just stupid and they have no relationship skills, and many of them don't. Now, I'm going to say that this problem doesn't apply to all men. I know many wonderful men who are great at relationships, including my sons and including some of my clients and including some of you watching this video. Not all men are deficient, okay? So I want to get that out of the way. However, there is a changing trend in society of a growing number of men who are single and they're lonely, because studies have shown that the happiest group of people are single women with no children. And we also know that men are happier when they're married. Supposedly, they're happier when they're married. Therefore, women provide more happiness in a relationship than a man does. We are happier on our own and we give you happiness. You guys need us more than we need you. And part of it is because women have more social networks. Men who are not in relationships tend to be, I guess, more introverted, home with their video games, their computers, their porn, they're on Discord and they're interacting. That way they don't have the network skills, the social networks. That's a big reason for it. It's not that men in and of themselves are deficient. But let's get into this article a little bit. So this article, and all you have to do is Google the rise of single lonely men. So the main points are the dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise. Men need to address skills deficits to meet healthier relationship expectations. Younger and middle-aged men are the loneliest they've ever been in generations, and it's probably going to get worse. Over the last 30 years, men have become a larger portion of that growing group of long-term single people. And while you don't need to be in a relationship to be happy, men typically are happier and healthier when partnered. Now, there are 3 trends that they suggest that men are in for a rough road ahead. They talk about dating apps. I tend to not consider the dating apps because real men are not on dating apps. The guys on dating apps are guys who have no social skills. So I'm very judgmental on dating apps. The majority of men will never meet anyone on dating apps. I think they're very superficial. Men go on there to get sex. Women go on there for validation. Not that many people end up meeting. And I'm going to make another video later about good places to meet people in real life. If I have to remember to find it. But dating apps are huge. They say that dating apps are a huge driver of new romantic connections, but 62% of the users are men. And so not that many people are actually meeting. And unless you're one of the top 5% of men with a great profile, you're not going to meet anyone on there. The second one is the relationship standards, and I think this is the main one. At least this is the one I can relate to. Women are now want men who are emotionally available and good communicators and share similar values. And number 3, and I actually think this is related, is that for men there is a relationship skills gap. And the problem for men is that emotional connection is the lifeblood of healthy, long-term love. Emotional connection requires all the skills that families are still not consistently teaching their young boys. And I think, and that is the main reason I believe that 80% of divorces are initiated by women, because unless men are emotionally involved in the relationship, women don't want it. And what he didn't say, and I left a comment on Dr. Matos' LinkedIn for this article, is that I also attribute, this is my contribution to the article, the knowledge economy. The knowledge economy, I made a video about this a few days ago, shows that women are out earning men. They're out graduating men in college. They're more educated. They make more money. And historically, men have exchanged resources for access to women, whether in tribes or in the nuclear family. Men provided protection and money, and women provided taking care of the home, bearing the children, and giving the men sex, because men need sex more than women need sex. Men need sex more than women need sex. You guys wake up with a boner. You guys will pay for sex, a lot of money. As a former escort, I know from firsthand experience. Every sex worker has got money because men will pay for sex. Why? Because they want it more than we want it, and they're not as picky. So, but now that women make their own money, they're like, well, I'm not going to settle for this guy, because before we would settle, we would be like, well, I need a man. I need to get married. I need someone to provide for me. I need a father for my children. Well, if I don't want children, by the way, I'm a mother of 3 and a grandma, but if I don't want children, and if I don't need someone to provide for me financially because I make my own money, then the reasons I would want a man is for a friendship, a partnership. I want a good relationship. The relationship, including the sex, which I still love sex. I'm 60. Don't hit me up for sex, guys. I don't hook up, okay? But I'm just saying, I still would want a relationship for the purposes of sex, and I want all the relational skills, and I want him to be fit, and I want him to be healthy, and I want him to have done personal development, and I don't want any baggage. I want him as happy and whole as I am. So I think women's standards have increased, and the article talks about this, unless men step it up and improve on that deficit, we don't want you. Sorry. We don't want you for a relationship. I mean, sure, we might talk to you in the store, or we might work with you, or you could be a customer, or we might hire you for something, and we will appreciate you as a human being. You have value as a human being. However, unless you have a good set of relationship skills, a woman isn't going to want you for an intimate relationship if all you have to offer is your dick. Sorry. Even your money isn't enough. We want more. And that's the whole problem of it. So what guys need to do, get fit, get into therapy to deal with your childhood stuff that keeps you stuck and that keeps you from going out of the house. You guys have got to start going out of the house, being friendly, going in social environments, making yourself into the kind of person who people want to be with. Like, why would I want to be with you? What have you got to offer me? Friendship. And I'm talking about friendship. I'm talking about something deeper, because a man deserves to be valued and honored for just who he is, not just for the money he earns. So, what is your personal relationship to yourself? Forget, this is just my take on it now. Just strip away the money, because we don't need your money. What are you bringing to the table as a friend? What kind of person are you? What are you doing with your life? How do you deal with conflict in a relationship? How do you deal with your friends? How do you deal with other people? I highly recommend that men go out and check out his project, the Better Love Project, because he's all about helping couples and helping men. By the way, if you Google that article and you see like the Reddit posts and all that, women are just all about it. They're like, we've been telling men for a long time. By the way, guys, don't come on here and slam women. This article is about men, and there are plenty of good women out there. And we're choosing not to date because of all this problem. Now, the key, what men can do is they need to level up their mental game. That means getting into some individual therapy to address your skills gap. It means valuing your own internal world and respecting your ideas enough to communicate them effectively. It means seeing intimacy, romance, and emotional connection as worthy of your time and effort. Ultimately, we have an opportunity to revolutionize romantic relationships and establish new healthy norms, starting with the first date. Men have a key role in this transformation, but only if they go all in. Will we step up? Will you? Yeah, because it turns out that women are happier without men. Now, why would we want a man? Well, when men are fully developed and have done their inner work and they have good communication skills, they're such a blessing to be around. They are so awesome to be around. So the men that have this gap are the ones who are single. They don't have a woman. They don't know how to get a woman. And then they end up all bitter, blaming all women on one of these incel sites. So I think that these guys should get men to help them out. I'm just speaking here as a woman. Like, I don't need that. And now I'm going to go for a run. By the way, my gym is almost empty. My gym is almost empty. Where are all the men? That's why we don't want you. It's not enough to just exist. Nature is a cruel taskmaster. You have to bring something to the table, guys. If you want women, you need to either bring money to the table and then we'll be with you because you're paying us, or you need to have like a good relationship skill set. That's it. Else, more and more men are just going to be single.